What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Punisher's YouTube channel. I'm here with Papa Joel today. We're going to be talking about a highly requested topic here. You guys destroyed the comment section with one of our other comparison videos. Wanted to see this, so here it is. We're bringing it to you: the Planet Eclipse LV2 versus the Dye DSR Plus. Today, we're going to look at it and see which one really takes it home. Joel, you got anything to say for the intro?
If you guys have any input, leave it in the comments because we definitely listen.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you better subscribe.
Definitely subscribe to the channel. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. In the link of this video, in the description, you can purchase either one of these, whichever one, take your pick. But thank you for watching so far. We'll catch you after the intro.
Alright guys, so here we are. We have two highly popular paintball guns. We've got the Planet Eclipse LV2. I've got it over on my side. Doug
has the Dye DSR. I was a dye shooter for a while. I didn't get the privilege of using one of these bad boys, but I've shot them before. I do like them. So yeah, I have honestly. I was a Rise user back in my earlier days of just getting into speedball, and then we ended up picking up a different sponsorship. But I do like the DSR. I actually haven't gotten to shoot a DSR Plus yet. So.
All right. Well, today is your lucky day, sir.
Mm-hmm. So let's start off with features of like the packaging.
Well,
and whatnot, right?
before we get into anything, guys, something super important is that to bring you guys better content, we have come up with the structures to compare the videos. So we are going to hit on a bunch of different subjects today that are going to basically standardize how we do comparison videos. So we're going to be talking about features. We're going to be talking about ergonomics, weight of the markers, maintenance. I've got my little cheat sheet here. Build quality / reliability, tech support, and upgradability. And then we have a whole separate shooting portion that's going to incorporate shot quality, air efficiency, paint handling. And then at the end of this video, we're going to give you guys our personal opinions on both. Which one has better value for what you're paying. So I hope that you guys enjoy this new structure to the video.
Try to keep it consistent across
more consistent
channel.
Yes, so moving forward. So all right, so first up, Doug, we're going to talk about features. So we've got both of these bad boys here. I've got my packaging. Overall, I like the packaging of the Planet Eclipse LV2.
Yeah, I was going to say it's weak for the dye.
You've got your little sleeve there. I'd like to mention that the cardboard box for my LV2 actually does come with a sleeve very similar to Dye.
Did you finally kill it?
Dye.
Did you finally destroy the
I
sleeve?
don't know where it's at. Funny how that happens. It's almost like we called that out in previous videos. All right, so I've got an elastic strap here.
I have no carrying handle. This is, I don't think that, no, this isn't really any kind of aluminum. I'm not convinced. So still a hard case, but yeah.
Packaging for, in my personal opinion, packaging for the LV2 wins compared to what you're getting here. It's close though, I would say.
There's space for multiple inserts. There's also space for inserts there. Yep. They have a little more space. You still get the same kind of stuff. You get the wrench kit. You get the barrel sock as in there. The manual for Planet Eclipse definitely takes it over the manuals for these guys. Mm-hmm. I like the O-ring sizing chart here for Dye. I do appreciate that, but
yes.
I think it's even more detailed for Planet Eclipse. So I would definitely give it to them. Both of these also have a divider to keep your barrels away from scratching up the marker itself. So I do appreciate that as well. There's also seems to be some space here in the Dye one for like your charging and I guess flashing the board or something too.
Yep. All right, let's get into the guns, Doug. Right. So features-wise, we've got a bunch of different things to talk about. We got barrel system. So right off, in my opinion, the barrel of the LV2 is probably going to take it for me, simply for the fact that regardless of which barrel you like more, the LV2 is going to come with two inserts as compared to the
give you more off the bat, and Joel, you'll be able to tell me this as the one who does all the buying. Yes. Would there also be more sizes available with the Planet Eclipse structure versus buying diebacks?
As far as diebacks go, you've got three overall sizes. You've got 8.0, 8.4, 8.8. With the S63, you're going to have four options.
At least four, yeah. That's right off the top of my head.
8.9, 8.5, 8.1, and 7.7. To my knowledge, the S63 isn't going to be available until August. We're currently in July. So.
As a separate purchase, like a solo purchase.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So that's actually really good intel for you guys. So cool. We started with the barrel. And given this new structure, my suggestion is going to be that we just work front to back to get through stuff. So
sounds good.
Coming in next, if I go that way, is going to be feed neck and eyes. So let's talk feed neck first. I'm actually just going to kind of eyeball it here. They're both pretty tall, honestly, for the marker. I actually think given the height of the overall marker versus the feed neck, I'm going to give it to the LV2 for being a shorter feed neck.
Yep, a little bit shorter of a feed neck. The other big thing for me is that the LV2, basically any Planet Eclipse gun is going to have this really large thumb wheel.
Yep.
And it's got grooved sections, so it makes it really easy to grab onto.
And tighten and loosen versus this, you got to like do all that. Or is it even?
No, you cannot.
They went backward just to using the.
Dye did go backwards.
I was gonna say because on my old Dye guns you could at least rotate the thing a bit and kind of okay so
so feed neck is a winner.
Toolless, yes, that's the winner.
LV2.
So that's 2 wins for the LV2 so far.
Yep.
Can we move to eyes next?
Sure.
So here I'll squeak this thing off. I'm just gonna fast forward to this part of the video. Okay, so we got the barrel off.
And we're back.
For Dye products here, we have the eye pipe. I actually don't hate the eye pipe.
I think it's a really cool feature.
I think it's a good idea. It's an easy way to clean shit. Like I actually don't hate it truly.
I actually had M3 last week where the eye pipe, it was so coated with paint that it got underneath the eye pipe, which I haven't seen very often.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes still were working.
Still were.
Yes.
Credit to Dye. So I mean, definitely a good durability moment for Dye. I've heard of people cracking them. I don't know how you managed to do that.
You tie down the barrel too much.
Gotcha.
Very easy way to do that is for people that aren't cognizant of it, you can tighten the barrel too much and that can cause it to have a lot of tension.
Got it.
Between the bolt plus the body of the gun plus the barrel, it really cramps that.
So don't do
cramps that eye pipe. So don't do that. Just nice and snug.
Get it snug. One extra twist. Leave it alone.
Like your dad told you about the tools at home. Nice and snug.
Nice and snug.
So with the Planet Eclipse LV2, basically you've got your grips here. This pops off kind of similar to like CS2 grips, and then just pops off like that, and same thing with the front. To access your latch here, excuse me, this gun is dirty. To access your latch here, and then the eye pops off just like that. It is a wire system, and you've got the ball detent right there.
I've not taken one of these apart, but I'm assuming there are still eye wires in this as well.
Yeah, but it's very hard to access that. So like.
So as far as getting to the actual eyes, would you say this is toolless? Because the eye pipe is kind of a weird in between.
You know, that's a good question. I wouldn't say it's toolless.
Okay.
But I would say that like you're very, very, very rarely going to have to access your actual eyes. And what's cool is the way that it sits in the breech of the gun. It's very simple to clean that out because it's just like literally like a rubber portion where the eyes sit in. Mm-hmm. So you really like can take that eye pipe out and just squeegee, and it will clean the eyes more than you'll ever need. Whereas like it's a little bit different.
So could we argue that eyes would win on the DSR?
I think that like overall features wise, I think yes.
Simplicity.
I really do because it's a little bit easier to clean than the LV2. I would say that the DSR Plus definitely takes it.
So while you have that apart, I'll go to my next feature, which is battery, since it's right here for this guy.
Yep.
Toolless for both of them.
Yes.
On the previous DSR, I know you had to like get like a nickel or a quarter and get in there, but now it's got its own kind of twist to get into, which I'm forgetting which direction. Or no, you still do need something.
No, you don't. You can, but it is kind of a pain with the gun brand new. It is definitely a pain.
Because this is fresh out of the box, brand new, brand spanking new.
Yeah.
So I am struggling a little bit to push it across. It is still technically toolless, so there is that, but you're going to struggle at first.
You are going to struggle at first, but it is toolless, which is relatively nice. I do like that about it.
I'll call that a wash for the two of them. Since
I would say it's probably a wash too, Doug. Like it's going to be very similar between the two.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll pause again to put this back on. And I didn't over tighten. So Joel's putting his grips back on. Joel, next up, why don't we hit triggers after you get that back on and put together?
Yeah, so the DSR Plus has the
new
Edge
trigger. Yes, the Edge trigger. I can't remember what the version or edition of it is, but having not shot it yet while it's live, I can't say. I'm not huge on this off the bat just because, like, naturally, like your middle finger sticks out further than your pointer finger, and they kind of have it backwards here, where this sticks out. So I'm not. It doesn't feel bad, like responsiveness and all that. It's super light trigger. I like it, but LV2 triggers is what that's like a blade-ish trigger.
Yeah. So this is the same trigger as the 170R, so it's going to accept or the Go4 or any of that. So it is going to accept the 1R. Infamous trigger from Infamous, so that's nice. So you can upgrade to Deuce if you want to Deuce.
That's a point to upgradability.
Yes, it is. But overall, I like the feel of this. The trigger guard is a lot larger compared to the DSR Plus.
Yep.
I like the DSR Plus trigger and the way that it feels, the return better. but I like the overall size of the trigger frame better. That's one of my biggest quirks with the DSR Plus is like the trigger frame itself is very small.
Okay.
So like my fingers hit. But other than that, I think that like for me, the trigger, I don't know, it's hard. What do you think, Doug?
I actually like the DSR trigger more.
Okay. So
I like the
Both of us
feel, the
agree on that.
responsiveness. So DSR, another point. Not looking good for you, sir.
Let's talk about board. They both come with an OLED board. Both are pretty good, I would say. I'm going to give the OLED board to the LV2 for a few different reasons. This joystick pad is definitely a lot better quality, whereas like with the DSR Plus, you're going to have a joystick. It doesn't have a battery in it because the battery actually is in your case.
Oh, so that's not a spare.
Yeah, it's actually a thing to hold charge.
Got it.
So that you have a brand new battery when you receive the marker.
Got it.
But overall, joystick wise, it's going to be a 5-way joystick, up, down, side, and in. It makes for tuning. It can be a real pain to tune.
I was going to say, I
this is
have
a lot
never
easier.
liked going through dye guns. I still, to this day, have refused to fully learn how to do it because of that.
Yeah.
I have learned how to do PE ones. It's been a while, but I will say, once you just know how to get to the modes and find them, it's pretty easy to scroll. They have the up and down toggle buttons there, and I do think it's pretty easy to manipulate the Planet Eclipse guns. So
both
programmability is going to go.
Well, both have LED lights. A few things I like to touch on real quick.
That's true.
Both have LED lights, which is nice. And I have had to replace an OLED board on the DSR Plus, something to mention, or excuse me, as a regular Dye DSR. So OLED board needed to be replaced, which is nice.
Was it out of the box, or was it after like Dye?
No, it was after use.
Okay.
But Dye does sell the OLED kit as like overall kit.
Nice.
And the other thing too is like this plastic portion that covers the OLED board. I've seen that crack a few times, and in order to replace it, you have to buy the entire OLED kit, which includes the, like the actual microchip plus the everything.
Wow.
You have to buy it all together, which is like $50. So that is kind of a pain. So for that side of things, I'm definitely going with this board.
That's definitely a painful maintenance cost.
Yeah, for sure. Tunability wise, it's going to be...
Oh, God. Tuning.
Yeah, this all day.
You're not doing anything to this, really.
Mainly because it has the LPR, it has SFR for forward stroke, backward stroke of the rammer. And then, so yeah. So overall, features wise, Doug, which one are you going with?
Overall features, we're also going to talk about ASAs as well. This is a lever ASA still for some reason versus the Pops ASA. I'm going to give it to the LV2 for that. So now we're going to hit on ergonomics a little bit because that'll also really play into it, how it feels in your hands. I like the DSR. I do. Don't get me wrong. Massive update with the LV2, getting rid of the AT pipe. I think ergonomically that is a way more sound gun now. I've said in other videos, I think it's a little long this way, so it's a little big for me. Plus the UL frame is very popular with this hourglass kind of figure. It's easy to get your hands into and really hold on to. I think this is a good amount of space between trigger guard and foregrip for this as well, and it just sits really nice in my hand. It's a good shape. It's not too long, not too short. So, and I don't mind the vulcanized rubber either. Like I don't need to grab just metal all the time. So, I will give like a plus 0.2 to the DSR because the LV2 should not be counted out as a very ergonomically sound gun.
No, it is. But all right, so Doug, you're going with the DSR Plus. For me, I'm going to go with the LV2 from an ergonomic standpoint, just because there's a few small things that quirk me about the DSR Plus. One of which is that this is really short, so when I grip it, my hand falls off the bottom. And the other thing is the trigger frame is, like I had already mentioned, small. I've mentioned that in like every video with DSR Plus. The trigger frame is small, whereas like this, there's still good space here. This is easy to grab onto. It's a little bit longer, so like my hand doesn't hang off as much. It still does. And this is kind of like a big guy gun.
That's the gargantuan gun.
Yeah, it really is. It's a larger gun. It's going to be heavier than DSR Plus, I would assume. But yeah, overall, the other thing too is when I pull this up, my line of sight, it's more in my line of sight with a tank as compared to DSR Plus because it's a skinnier spool valve as compared to the
stack tube gun.
Stack tube poppet. Yeah. So, all right. So your ergonomics, you picked the DSR Plus. I picked the LV2. Next up, guys, we're going to talk about the weight. We're going to weigh both these bad boys. Maybe.
I'll put the battery on with that one as well.
I'm going to bring it to Daddy here. Okay.
Zero.
Go ahead, Doug.
I'm going to put the battery on top of it as well.
Yep.
Just to...
All right, guys, so we're at 2 pounds, 0.2 ounces for the DSR Plus. And this, we already know, is going to be a lot heavier. This has a battery in it with the barrel. LV2 comes at 2 pounds, 2.1 ounces.
Okay.
So it's definitely a check mark for the DSR Plus.
Yep.
Can't argue it whatsoever.
Lighter weight gun, a little smaller, which makes sense. You can even tell just by looking at it that that's kind of be what it is. Cheat sheet, you can't see it. Don't look at it.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about maintenance of the markers for the LV2. You've got the HPR and the LPR. You've got your volt, which just slides out, and then to get to the rammer, because it is a poppet valve, you're just going to unscrew the rammer cap, or you may need Allen keys if it's really in there. This unscrews, and your rammer just pops out. That takes some oil. That's all you got to do as far as general maintenance to this. Obviously, change your battery occasionally, and then occasionally, I would say a couple times a season, you're going to want to maintenance your HPR as well as your LPR here, which is not nearly as difficult as it seems. I could lube the rammer, oil the rammer, lube the HPR, and lube the LPR. It'd take me probably about 5 to 10 minutes. So it does not take that long, guys.
And then there's over here, I am having so much difficulty trying to get the bolt
here
out of this. Now,
you do the rammer cap.
Okay.
Let me show the peeps.
In theory, that's easy to get out, but okay, so it pushes into a point that it releases.
You can do it with one hand. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Got it. So there you have it. That comes out stupid easy. You can just finger tighten the back rammer piece for this, and I've seen Joel do that about 1,000 times. So super easy to get some oil on this, not lube, oil.
Correct, not lube oil. That is correct. So as far as maintenance with the DSR Plus, it is a spool valve, so you're just going to take this apart. This is going to unscrew here of the Arc Plus bolt system.
There you go.
Which has some upgraded features compared to a regular DSR. Flex face bolt, flex can, which is nice. So you're going to lube the O-rings there. This pops back in. This goes all together.
So really, that actual bolt is a pretty large moving piece.
It is, yep. And it's still relatively efficient. And then to maintenance your regulator, you are going to have to take the grips off, and there's 2 Allen keys, one on each side of the marker. And then this pops off to maintenance your HPR, which occasionally you're going to have to do.
That doesn't sound terribly difficult, though. Really?
It's not. It's not, but I would say overall it is probably going to be easier, in my opinion, to maintenance the LV2.
Really?
As compared to, I guess this is a good subject for me because I do this all the time. I don't know how many of these I've taken apart. As
someone who's a little more of like just your standard like idiot player, I would say I wouldn't trust myself or a lot of people with the LV2 just because there's a lot more things to keep track of, because you have the bolt, the rammer, which is 2 whole separate moving things themselves, LPR, HPR. You got bolt, you got HPR.
Yeah, true.
To me, it's just there's less to worry about. So.
Oh, and the other thing I like to mention, since you brought that up, the other thing I like to mention is that there are no wires if you take the trigger frame off this gun. If you take the trigger frame off this gun, you got
I didn't realize that.
the solenoid wires and the eye wires between it gets really clustered really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a really good point, Doug. But for the most part, you're not going to have to maintenance this. So like for me,
is that like a once a season kind of thing?
Once maybe a couple times a season.
Probably depending on the division you play. If you're playing D3 and up, you might want to do it twice. Or
if you're getting chopped up and getting shot a lot
for the amount of paint you're going through. But
I'm picking for maintenance because I'm familiar with both guns, very familiar with both guns. I'm going to pick this just because I know how to do the HPR and the LPR, and it doesn't take more than 10 seconds.
It's also a thing too of like for the extra maintenance and the extra pieces in this, you get so much more tunability of your shot. So it kind of plays into itself. But what is next on the list there, boss?
All right, so next up would be build quality / reliability between the two. Okay, so between the two guys, it's kind of hard to make that judge right now just because the LV2 is such a new marker. But I have used this marker. I've put probably like 20,000 personal shots on it. Plus, I've had a bunch of people use it. Have had 0 issues with it so far. There was an HPR issue that Planet Eclipse has already fixed.
That was a manufacturer issue, not this gun specifically.
Correct.
That was a lot of the first run.
Yeah, correct.
My thing with the reliability and all that and build quality, Like, I would say build quality feels fine on the Dye guns, but just like statistically, when I've gone to fields and gone out and played, I see more Dye guns go down than anything, and I seldom see Planet Eclipse guns go down. So
yeah, build quality for me 100% goes to the LV2, just because from what I've seen, it's very, very hard to do anything wrong to this marker.
you have to dive on top of it and like bend your ASA, which at that point, that is your fault. That is not the manufacturer.
For sure. I've seen quite a few issues with the DSR Plus as far as like I said, the OLED screen, that was a regular DSR, but the OLED screen, I've seen an OLED screen go wrong. I've had to repair probably 3 to 4 guns. Now keep in mind I'm doing hundreds of guns probably over the period of a year, but I've had to repair a few leaks coming from the regulator, the DSR Plus.
Like down here, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I saw that a lot with the regular DSR as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
build quality / reliability, I'm going with LV2.
I completely agree with that.
So
absolutely agree.
Another thing to consider would be overall tech support between the two of these markers. So that's a separate category.
I never call for tech support.
So tech support, guys, for both these guns are super good. Obviously, Planet Eclipse sticks by the products. You can ship them a gun right down in the notes. Their warehouse is in Rhode Island, and you just fill it out and let them know what's going on. They're very quick with turnaround. Same thing with Dye. Billy Wing down in Florida does an excellent job repairing markers very quickly and getting them back to you if you have stuff that like you can't figure out. Like I had a Dye DM4, like parts I didn't even think it still existed. I sent it to Billy. Billy repaired it, sent it back to me, and it was probably maybe a week turnaround.
That's not bad.
So yeah,
guys, a week turnaround is good for paintball time. That's really good.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd say overall tech support between the two is very good. I would say one thing for me in the Midwest as a player is that Planet Eclipse booth. It does show up
at the MSXL. I have not seen a Dye booth.
No. But then you're also going to have tech support if you're at an NXL event. You're going to have tech support.
So something to keep in mind if you're a regional player versus a national player. Because Dye is based out in California, so they probably have it at the WC events, the WCP.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I would wager. But
last thing would be upgradability.
And if I'm going to think back to knowing like the previous DSR, the Flex products were the upgrade parts, but now they come stock in this.
Correct.
Is there anything like can you put a slaps ASA on this at all?
You cannot.
Okay.
Man, you cannot.
Are there other,
unfortunately?
Are there other triggers? I think I've seen.
To my knowledge,
no.
I don't think so. Yet.
That's true. Yet, but I mean, other than like buying a different barrel to toss on this, I don't really know.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I don't think that there is anything that you can really upgrade besides, to your point, the barrel.
Just is what
now
it is
the UL tip, it is a UL tip, guys. For those guys that are Dye guys and are wondering about that, it is a UL tip. This is the core back, but it is the same threads, so you can get an 8.4 and an 8.0 back because Dye doesn't really carry them that frequently as far as the backs go, the different size bores. So you can find them on like used markets and stuff and still use your tip while still, having the back. And this is an 8.8 back. As far as the LV2 goes, upgradability so far, Silencio tip is offered by Infamous, which is really nice. So you can get a Silencio tip for this. The other thing too is you can get, like I'd already mentioned, the 1R trigger from Infamous. So Infamous is already on it as far as upgrades for the LV2. As far as functionality standpoint goes, there's really nothing that you can do. It does come with a light and heavy rammer to change the style of shot depending upon what you're trying to do.
What about the bolt too? Is there like a soft face bolt, or is it already a soft face bolt?
It's already got a rubber portion to it.
Okay.
But that is a good point. You could technically, the Tech T used to be very popular.
I remember that brand. Wow, thanks for the throwback.
they're still around.
No way.
Yep, they are still around, but they don't have any upgrades for the LV2 yet.
I'm sure they will.
Where like the DSR Plus has been around for a while. It's been around for quite a few months.
Yeah.
If not
at least a year. Yeah, almost.
Whereas like the LV2 just came out and we already have all these upgrades for it as far as the barrel. The other thing too is Planet's going to be getting the inserts, so it's going to be very easy to pop the inserts in and out. So
get you some different sizes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
upgradability is going to go to the LV2, but
for sure.
At this point, we have gone through everything we can as far as the shot portion. So we're going to bust out of here and go to Joel's place and go shoot these bad boys and wrap up this listing for you.
See you guys there.
All right, guys. So we're here at Joel's. It is time to shoot these two bad boys and get this comparison kind of finished out. So once again, LV2 here with a 100 tank on it, which is amazing, versus the Dye DSR Plus with Joel's 90. So comparable tank sizes, Spire 4, Spire 3, shooting some HK level 3.
Yes,
nice
sir.
and bright green so you guys can really kind of see these ropes as we go here.
And that stuff's kind of brittle, Doug, so.
Yeah, this is actually like pretty decent paint. We were testing them a little bit before this. We're gonna chrono them as well. I will start with the LV2 here.
I've shot both of these markers quite a bit, so I am aware of both shots, so I'll be curious to see what you think, Doug.
Yeah, same.
All right.
290, 290, 290, 290. All right, cool. This one wants to chill in the 290 range. And then I'll set this down here, and I will do the DSR as well, just to get the chrono out of the way. Thank you, boss.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 300, 300, 300. 300s versus upper 290s, that's not enough for me to really make a difference. So I'm gonna set this down. I'll start with Old Familiar, now that I've railed these a couple times, if the boss is ready.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Ain't nobody getting through that lane. All right, so that's very familiar. I do love the way that shoots. Now, for my first non-chronoing, really shooting shots with the DSR Plus. Okay. Wow. That's actually, for whatever reason, that feels even better than the original DSR did. I mean, obviously there's different parts, but like,
Yeah,
that's
definitely shoots good.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, Doug, so our first category as far as shooting goes is shot quality. So between the two, if you're gonna pick one, which one are you picking and why?
If I'm picking one and why? First of all, let me just say that this is close. This is very, very close between the two of these. Because both are super soft, super easy. Not a whole lot of like blowback by any means. That is a tough choice. I will say though, as far as recoil getting in the way of the shot, the least amount, I will have to give it to the LV2. It
Wow,
was
okay.
softer, lighter by a bit. I feel like I felt more jostling with the DSR Plus. Does not by any means mean that it's a bad shot or a poor shot quality. Just if we're going nitty gritty, I will give it to the LV2 on this.
All right.
But yeah, man, I really think shot quality is going to go to the LV2. As far as, and what was one of the other categories?
Efficiency and paint handling.
Okay, paint handling. We didn't have any breaks here today. We didn't seem to have any issues with this relatively brittle paint, so that'll be a wash. And as far as efficiency, I'm going to defer to you on that one, Joel.
Yeah, guys, so efficiency-wise, it's going to be very close between the two. We did an efficiency test on the DSR Plus, as well as an efficiency test on the LV2. With an 80, the LV2 got about 1,500 shots. With the DSR Plus, we were in the 1,600 range with,
Okay.
I believe, a 77.
Okay,
So yeah, very close there. Paint handling-wise, in my opinion, the LV2 was very, very good.
yeah.
I've seen DSR Plus handle brittle paint as well. If I'm going to go one way or another as far as brittle paint, I'm probably going to pick the LV2 just because it seems like I was able to shoot super brittle paint through, we actually have a YouTube video, so check that out. LV2 was able to handle that. And as far as shot quality goes for me,
Yeah.
I'm picking the DSR Plus.
Yeah.
I love the way the DSR Plus shoots.
You always have. You really always have.
So yeah, so the DSR Plus definitely shoots really, really good.
Well,
in my personal opinion.
Well, there you have it, guys. Apparently, Joel and I need to fight.
All right, so Doug, now that we've done every part of this comparison video, which gun? Well, let's talk about value. So value-wise, DSR Plus, you're going to be at $1,000 or $1,100 for the PGA colors. For the LV2, you're looking at $1,600. There are no private label colors out yet. Which one are you picking?
For the value and everything in total, features and all, DSR.
DSR Plus?
Even though I like the shot on the LV2 just a bit more, for the money, if I just want to go out and play, I'd rather save that extra $600-700 and go buy paint and entry.
That's fair. I'm also going to pick the DSR Plus features and all that stuff were very, very similar between the two. I would say overall build quality, LV2 does capture that, but not for $600 difference.
Yep.
Efficiency is going to be similar. Paint handling is going to be similar. Yep. Shot quality, I actually like the DSR Plus more.
The only big thing for me is going to be the reliability. If that is a huge deal breaker for you, go with the LV platform gun.
Yep.
Do not go with the Dye gun in general. But for what we've had today, I would choose the DSR for the price.
And so would I.
So, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Again, link in the description if you're going to pick up either one of these bad boys. Thank you for watching once again, because I can't say it enough. We'll catch you in the next video.
See you guys soon.